At this time, a few people in black walked in with two middle-aged and elderly people who were tied up. The two middle-aged and elderly people had been beaten, bruised, and bleeding. They threw the two middle-aged people to the ground and bowed to Charlie. "Mr. Charlie, the person you want is here." Jiaodong and Lily glanced at them, and almost fainted on the spot in shock. The two middle-aged and elderly people lying on the ground are Jiaodong's father, Zhao Haifeng, and Lily's father, Yusheng. Charlie asked people to pour cold water on the faces of Zhao Haifeng and Yusheng, pour them sober, and then questioned Yusheng. "Mr. Yusheng, your daughter is provocative and casually cuckolding fiancé. Do you know this?" Yusheng was frightened. He was beaten up before he came in. Knowing that his daughter had caused stubbornness this time, he kept shaking his head in order to protect himself. I don't know. Charlie nodded and said, "You don't know, do you? You don't know it as father's oversight and negligence. Biao, break his left knee for me. Just like you did to the dead dog just now." "Good." Biao immediately said to the people around him, "Hold him down for me." Yusheng shouted in fright, "No. Help." Lily also shouted in shock, "Dad." Biao didn't hesitate. When his subordinates held Yuesheng's leg, he immediately swung the steel rod and slammed it down. "What?" Yusheng only felt the pain and wanted to die. His knees had been completely shattered, and she was afraid it would be impossible to recover in this life. At this time, Charlie asked again, "I'll ask you again, your daughter is sloppy and cuckolds her fiancé casually. Do you know this?" Yusheng cried and said, I know, it's because I can't discipline her, I must discipline her well in the future." Charlie snorted coldly, "Since you know this, why don't you stop it? You know your daughter is making mistakes but don't care about teaching. That's because your father's 3 views are not correct and you are helping you to abuse." After finishing speaking, he shouted angrily at Biao, "Biao, give me his other leg." Yusheng didn't expect that admitting his mistake would not work. Charlie still didn't plan to let him go. The whole person, frightened, fell into a coma. However, Biao's steel rod made him awakened by severe pain in an instant. What? Yusheng has lived for most of her life. Why did he suffer for such a crime? He was in tears, crying desperately. "Mr. Charlie, I really know that I was wrong. From now on, I will strictly discipline this unfilial girl, and I will never let her do this kind of hurtful things." Charlie said disdainfully, "You are quite shirking of responsibility." In a word, Yusheng trembled instantly. Charlie sternly asked, "Mr. Yusheng, I ask you. My brother invested 100,000 in your hotel, why didn't you refund it? Why did you say that my brother did not honor you?" Yuesheng's face was pale and hurriedly said, I was wrong. I was greedy and shameless, I really know I was wrong." After he finished speaking, he looked at Stephen, who was angry on the bed, and blurted out and pleaded, "Stephen, it's me who has lost the mind. Don't worry, I will pay you back this 100,000 with interest, please follow me." Mr. Charlie said, "Pity, this old bone of mine really can't stand the tossing." Charlie looked at Stephen and asked, "Are you going to intercede for him?" Stephen shook his head resolutely, and blurted out, "No. I won't intercede for any of them." "Okay." Charlie nodded in satisfaction. "You are still a man." After finishing speaking, he turned his head to Yusheng, who was desperate, and said, "Not only do you have no way to teach your son, you are also disrespectful, and you are trying to invade all my brother's savings over the past few years. What is the difference between you and low life?" Yusheng shivered in fright, crying and wailing, "Mr. Charlie, I'm a bee at starred. I'm not a human. I'm damned. Forgive me, I beg you, I'll be a cow and a horse for you in the future. From now on, I will call you Grandpa Wade, please forgive me." Charlie sneered and said, "Spare you? It seems that although you are ugly, you think beautifully." After that, he said to Biao, "Take his right hand for me. I think he will dare not snatch other people's things in the future." Yusheng cried in despair, "No, Mr. Charlie, no." Biao simply smashed hard. "Ah, my hand." Charlie said to Biao, "Get his mouth and pull it aside." It is good. Biao immediately blocked his mouth and threw him together with brother Qi. Lily was so scared that she was going crazy. Zhaodong is the same. The same goes for Zhaodong's father, Zhao Haifeng. He looked at Zhaodong, slapped angrily, and cursed, "Dog be it starred. Who made you mess around outside? You are going to kill me." Charlie looked at Zhao Haifeng with a smile, and asked, "What? Your son got together with my brother's fiancée and gave my brother a cuckold. Don't you know how to be a father?"